Good morning, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party and my buddy Rhett. I have this nut for her. I have no idea what kind of nut this is. Just came from our mixed nuts. There you go. I did sort of take my plant and sort of drape it a little bit more, so Rhett is a little bit like put off at the moment. When she's a scaredy cat. She's always been afraid of everything, and so like you have to always ease things into her. So and then she goes from being scared to absolute confidence, like in a snap. But I feel like it's probably better for her to be around plants and touch plants and stuff. I wish I could take her outside and touch dirt with her and stuff like that, but that's probably not a good idea. Just we've never been ones to take her outside. But anyways, I do try to make sure she gets sunlight, natural sunlight, and change of like food and changes of like just try to have like a really nice life, but it's tough. Um, anyways, so my problem is that uh, I need to slide in my is this right? No, in my entities in the scene. I need to slide something called groups in between the scene group IDs in between the scene and the meshes, and then the meshes need to be inside the groups. And this is exactly why I started this project, right? Like this was the main reason and why I choose Angular and um, ThreeJS because this is the kind of problem that you get a lot in the enterprise. And the reason you get this problem a lot in the enterprise is you almost always hear this, oh yeah, no, in very rare cases, every once in a while you need to have XYZ and then when you figure it out you realize, oh my gosh, this is a deep architectural change. And it's almost always qualified, well, it's super rare, but it has to be done. It's like, well, if it has to be done, then it doesn't matter how rare it is. Actually, when something is super rare, you really want to do it, pay a lot more attention to it because bugs in that are going to be much, much more difficult to debug typically if something's very rarely used. So you got to really probably the less it's used, probably the more care you need to put into that initial build out. But anyways, I get these issues all the time, and what generally happens is I have like kind of a set of milestones that I try to try to get it working. Um, and then as I get, but basically the milestones are kind of like I don't know exactly. It's almost like I throw myself into a hole and dig my way out of it, and then I find the next hole to throw myself into, as opposed to like thinking about it clearly. And by the time it's done, I don't really remember what happened because I was like under total duress trying all these different things the whole way. So I don't really get a chance to think through these things carefully and thoughtfully. Generally, I have some kind of like issue that I need to figure out. But as far as I know right now, an ST group it only its only job is to hold meshes at this point in time, but it'll be meshes and lights and stuff like that. Now, they have sort of a generalized object. It's like children in their groups in ThreeJS, but I don't want that. I want to actually have like different lists for different things. I think I'm not 100% sure on that. Um, but I feel like it'd be a lot easier to deal with the JSON as an export import if we have different like types in there. So I can just look at the type and see, oh, okay, this is the list of groups. Oh, I mean, this is the list of meshes. And this is a list of groups. Now, I don't know how that works like in the CBC, like if it was a CSV, a comma separated value. I guess, no, I don't know. I guess, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, that's what I want right now. So basically, if I feel like I should look at the mesh and look at how that is. So we have a type. Okay, so first things first. Okay, so, and I guess we don't need this anymore. All right, so we have a type, and if I remember correctly, Okay. So we want to do something very similar to this. I think it has an ST position, ST rotation. It will not have a geometry ID, will not have a material ID, but it will have animation IDs. So I'm just going to copy this as is. I think that's the right move to do. And we just paste this down here. Now, what did I import at the top up there? Oh, ST triple. Okay, so we definitely will need that. I'm kind of surprised these types, I don't have those like typed out into a set of types, but and I'm just going to copy all of this stuff. Control X and delete this. Control B. And again, like I don't know exactly how I like this is the kind of thing that I've done a million times or tons of times in the enterprise. And honestly, when I walk away from it, I don't really have a good grip on what I did. See group ID, ST position, ST rotation, no geometry ID, no material ID, but we do have animation IDs. So that is what I believe our interface is going to be like. So what's next? Probably the service. So we have two services. One will be our ST services. So, and then one is our three services. So if you look in, I think like mesh service, for example. See, mesh service is a little trickier. Let's look at like camera, because camera will have all those things. I don't know how that works. Let's go look at our interface for camera. See, camera has a bunch of stuff, and it has positions and stuff like that. So I think it is a pretty good candidate to be similar. The I think, I don't know. Maybe mesh is the right one. So we are in our, so we have an ST set of services, and that is basically lets me set and get ST information, which ST information is kind of the way I want to see the world. And then this three services is kind of the what they would call a shim, the thing that connects my ST world and makes whatever changes needs to be made to be handled into the three world. So so ST, I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm gonna go look at camera and see if this one makes sense. Okay, so ST camera service, see like it has a position. Oh, it has a function called create base camera. So I would imagine, well, do I have a similar thing for create base meshes? Yeah, create base. So it looks like I always do like a create base, which will return the ID to be stored. All right. So we want to, okay, so the next step is to come in here and create our new ST service. And I'm looking for like my ST. Here, let's just do this. Control F service. I've never had this many. So render. So there's 40 of them. I feel like I want the most recent one that I can find. So this was my layout service. I think I want like a ST service, like a, yeah, class. Oh, okay, so we had these classes too. And the concept of the class is that the class would be per, like not a singleton that's shared across the entire application. ST. Man, it's amazing. SUUI service, app viz service. Okay, so mesh. Okay, so it looks like something along these lines. All right, copy the trailing comma from above, and so this is ST, and this is going to be group. And NGG, and I think, is it services? I guess it is services. And then I know I've done a lot of refactoring since okay, so it looks like we added this entities since there. So is it services ST? Let's close this interfaces. It's a bit confusing. Okay, so it is straight off of services and then entities. And then group, right? Entities, no. Then ST. So it'll go in here. And then group. Group. And then ST group. I think this is going to be right. And so what we want to do is we want to see a new folder show up in here with a file called st mesh service and a spec. All right, so let's go over here. cd and then run st group. And see, thinking more slowly like I am right now, like kind of moving through this in a more slow, methodical way as opposed to like when I normally would have to do something like this in a job, um, like I can sort of try to remember specific details and try to take maybe some rough spots and try to fix them up. Okay, so that looks good. Is the name of it what I want? Yep. And then is the name of this what I want? ST group service. Is that right? I think that to me that looks right. ST mesh service. Okay. I know with the components sometimes I'll have a problem. Okay, so this wait at service. Is that really? Wrong one. We're done with interfaces for the moment. Oh my gosh, I just went right back into it. Oh my gosh. Accidentally closed that. Okay, so here is our group service. I do not remember at service ever before. Wow. Okay, so that changed. So it used to be like, oh wait, this is not the right. That's the class? Export class mesh service, right? But so let's double click on that so it doesn't close. Let's go ahead and kill that for the moment. Now our group service is at service. Yeah, this is new. I don't have any idea what this is. That's weird. Let's go ahead and see. Oops, Control Z, Control copy, ChatGPT. I think this must be a new Angular 22 thing. I don't know. So, like it's kind of so ChatGPT also does not seem to be aware of this change. Did I do something wrong? See, this is the kind of thing that you really like. Probably I didn't even realize it, but this is probably a big reason why. Okay, so this is the command. This is why I try to save these things so that it kind of like something is different right now, and I'm having a hard time sort of getting my head straight. And graded to Angular 22. And choose okay. A more specific alternative to add a schedule for services. This Angular CLI updated to generate services like at services by default. This behavior. So this is a perfect example of like a native Angular 22 application would automatically always build everything like this with at service. And then so this code for services looking like this, the way it's telling me, is going to look freakishly weird and ancient and like, oh, that person's just an old fogey because they're still doing this. And yeah, so this is going to be hard. Um, and I need to kind of think through this. So, anyways, I guess it's time to go. Was totally not expected. I'm glad I got to experience it in real time. I'm glad I got to experience it while I was recording. So, like the actual true experience is captured of like just like, and I thought I watched the last Angular 22, like what's new in Angular 22. Videos from the Angler team. I do not remember this. Maybe it just went right over my head. Maybe I didn't quite understand it, but uh, it's the same. So this is the same common case, more descriptive objector whose intent is specifically this class is an Angler service, whereas add injectable is a more general dependency injector that can be applied to any injectable class. Okay, so it did not. It did not call it. This is what I got. Oh, wrong one. What I generated. All of components are standalone. I think the fact that so that means I don't have a module anywhere, but this might be a good. Oh, wait. Okay, so this automatically makes it. Okay, so we don't have to say this. It automatically makes a singleton. I don't know if that's a great idea. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they ever deprecate this method or this method here. And I am like Yeah, I don't know. So there'll be a day probably like where they deprecate creating services this way, and um, I don't even know how they'll know it's a like I don't know how their upgrader would even know that this is a that. But I guess instead of this, we can just say at service. So this could just be removed, and any services we can manually update. But like I have hundreds of them, right? Like I have hundreds of provided en route at injectables in this application, and I know that there's enterprise applications out there that have thousands of them, maybe even tens of thousands of them, and all of these things are going to have to be um, um, up, probably upgraded at some point to at service to at service. Yeah. Oof. And generally a lot most of the time whenever Angular rolls something new out like this, it's sort of buggy. So like it's like ugh, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Anyways, I'm glad we're doing it in slow motion. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.